our topic today is going to be 3 things you should check off your list before deciding he might be the one. So let's just jump in there and share with us why you chose this topic, and let's start talking about this.
I chose this topic because I get so many, first of all, I got married at 47, like you said, and so I was single for a really long time. Mm-hmm. I know personally, and through 10 plus years of experience with other women, that when you meet somebody that you're really into and you get those, he might be the one, he might be the one, he might be the one, we can lose our minds. We can revert back to our 18-year-old. We can be completely in our emotion and our excitement. And a lot of times we get hurt, right? It doesn't work out because we make premature decisions and like, this is the one too fast. And we get disappointed, or we get stuck with the wrong guy, right? I was the disappointed one. Everyone always broke up with me, but I know lots of women who've gone with the man who picked them. It's like, he digs me, so he must be the one.
Right.
And neither one of those situations, neither one of those work. This is all about finding the right partner and enjoying life until you do, right? I know it sounds easy, but I'm going to give some really solid tips to help you sort of hold back on that, oh my God, butterflies, this could be the one freak out thing, and approach it with a little more of a grown-up, sort of intellectual approach.
You know what? I love that we're going to have a conversation about this, because I became a first-time bride at age 43, so a little bit earlier than you, but still a very, very long time being single. Mm-hmm. And I did go through both of those kind of scenarios where, oh my goodness, he likes me. He's chosen me, without that filter of like, do I really like him? Would I really choose him? And so I love that we're going to have this conversation, and I can't wait to hear what you have to share in terms of 3 things that are really important for us to check off before we decide he might be the one.
Number 1, want to get going?
Yeah, let's go. Right. Jump in.
The first thing that you need to check off is that you know how you need to feel in order to be happy for life. You're talking about choosing a life partner. In other words, you want a good mate, not just a good date. And it's that good date guy that we tend to go crazy about. Oh my God, he was so excited. Oh my God, we just had this witty rapport. Oh God, he's so good looking. I want to sleep with all those, fun, exciting things. And those are good. But those aren't the things that are going to make you happy on a day-to-day basis. So Michelle, how long have you been married now?
13 years.
Me too. Yeah. So we've both been married 13 years, and you know what I mean? Like, the excitement is great, but it's the day-to-day, does he have my back? Is he making good decisions? I know this sounds boring, ladies. I know. Does he make good decisions? Is he someone that's a good mate, not just fun? And the way that you decide that, the way that I want to help you decide it, is think in terms of how you need to feel. How do you need to feel, not just on the date? We know on the date you need to feel excited and blah, blah, blah. But the grown-up you, how do you need to feel in order to be happy with this man every day for the rest of your life? And so I'm thinking of things like, you need to feel safe, right? Mm-hmm. You need to feel understood. You need to feel appreciated. Maybe you do need to feel excitement. You need to feel maybe that you're learning. You need to feel that you're safe. By the way, that looks really different for different women, right? I mean, safe can mean physically safe, depending on what your background is, right? Your life experience. Safe could mean secure, like I know he loves me and he's going to be with me. Safe can mean financially he's secure. But what is it to you? What's going to make you feel safe in a relationship? So the feelings, not what does he have to be, what does he have to do? Because that's like a checklist about him. It's really important that you're looking at yourself. You're looking internally and thinking, wait, am I happy? And it's like you said, Michelle, oh, he picked me, so I guess I should go with him, without even thinking, wait, does he make me happy? Mm-hmm. Could he make me happy next month and next year and in a decade from now?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, gosh, the answer is no, but he's fun, he's charming, he's exciting, he shows up like he's really hot for me. So what? Those are all great things, but it's not going to keep you going in day to day. You want someone who has your back, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the grown-up stuff. You want someone who treats your family the way you want them to be treated. You want someone who values the same things that you, like the real fundamental values that you have. You want to be sure that he shares those fundamental values so you can respect him and admire him and share decision, like make decisions together that are aligned.
Mm-hmm.
Boring, right?
It may sound boring. It's so important. It's so important and so essential to your long-term happiness. Because I think for those of us that dated for a long time, I used to joke and say I was going to write a book called Dating for Decades because it felt like it was never going to end.
Yeah.
We've probably had some of these experiences where maybe the chemistry was really hot, or maybe they were this really exciting date, but at the end of the day, they weren't someone that we were probably going to be happy with long term.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say we're not going to be happy with long term.
Mm-hmm.
And I always encourage women to take the time to get to know the heart and character qualities of who a man is before they become too emotionally attached or involved. Because the flashy stuff, kind of the outward stuff, is sometimes what we get caught up with. But, you use the word respect and admire and some of those words. In my opinion, for a woman to not only fall in love with a man, but especially to be able to stay in love with a man, so we're talking about a mate, a long-term partner, you need to be able to respect who this person is.
Mm-hmm.
Because when the respect goes, for most women, those loving romantic feelings tend to go out the window right with it.
That's right. That's right. And you need to feel that he respects you as well.
Mm-hmm.
And respects you in a way that's important to you, right? So it's the same thing with feeling safe. We all have that thing about ourselves that we really dig and we think is special. And we want our partner to appreciate that and think that's special too. So for whatever that is for you, when you have someone that gives that gift to you, like I would say daily, but almost daily, because there's reality, right?
Yeah.
On a daily basis, that's a man that can keep you happy. That's a relationship in which you can remain feeling safe and understood and valued and all those yummy and sexy and beautiful and all those yummy feelings. So you said, though, I want to bring up one word you said. That's the C word, chemistry. It's dangerous. So this is not about chemistry. You can feel that chemistry, but if you do, that's what you need to check off is, okay, wait a minute. What about those grown-up feelings that I have to have in order to be happy for a lifetime?
Yes, because chemistry can give false positives. It can give us a false sense that there's more there than there actually really is.
Oh, yeah.
Gives us false readings quite frequently.
Right. Yeah. And then you get into that confirmation bias, right? Then you get into the idea that on the first date, second date, third date, you're like crazy about him and you're thinking he could be the one, he could be the one. And remember, after you learn these 3 steps, you're not going to be doing that. But you can be like, he could be the one. And then what happens is you decide that's true and you ignore contrary evidence. Mm-hmm. So in real life, that translates to, oh my God, he's so great. He's so great. Oh, well, yeah, he's late for every date. Yeah, he cancels a bunch of dates. Yeah, he like really has a horrible relationship with his 5 children, but that's probably about the children. You can start avoiding and ignoring so many things because you kind of are in that, it renders us kind of stupid, that chemistry thing.
Yeah, it can. It can make our brains kind of check out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So focus on how do you need to feel? And in order to get to that, I just want to give this is something I work with in my private coaching. This isn't an overnight thing, but I think this will help. In order to get to how you need to feel, remember, you don't want to look at he has to do this, he has to do this, he has to do this. This is about, it's like stepping back and it's being a little broader. And that is, what does it have to be like with the 2 of you in order for you to be happy? As a couple, as a pair, as a team, what would that look like in order for you to feel this way? It's not just about him. It's not just about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. Okay, so what is number 2, Bobbi?
So then there's the flip side. Okay, now you need to think, what do you need to feel in order to be happy? Now you have to look at, are you showing him the real you? Does he know the real you? So are the two of you together, two people that are being authentic and really getting to know one another? And it reminds me of like one of my favorite quotes, which I'm paraphrasing. I know I've said this to you before, Michelle. And it's attributed to Albert Einstein, but there's, of course, controversy around that. But the saying goes, women marry men hoping they'll change. Men marry women hoping they won't. So both are inevitably disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So check box number 1 is, don't marry a man hoping he's going to change. Right? Make sure he's a guy that seems like he's going to make you happy. And the second part's really important. So many of us, and I say us because boy, I was there, we twist like a pretzel. We, change our spots. We put up with stuff that we really don't like. We say we like things when we don't. There's so many things that we do in order to get him to like us. And you can only maintain that so long and be happy. You can only maintain that sort of mask so long. And then what happens in real life, that's where this quote is from, is, 6 months or 6 years or 6 decades down the line, all of a sudden the woman's like, I can't do this anymore. And you verbalize it and the man goes, who are you? I didn't marry you. I married that woman that tells me I'm right all the time. And, I married that woman that does what I want her to do all the time and agrees with me all the time. And so you have to really present yourself in a real authentic way. And if you haven't been doing that, if he doesn't know, not that he has to know every detail about you, right? But if he doesn't know your basic, like I think what you talked about, Michelle, like your character, right? Mm-hmm. Your character, your values, what's important to you, what's not, right? How you see your future with him for real. Don't just say, yeah, well, yeah, I would love to go to Botswana. That's great. When in your mind, you're thinking, oh God, I would never want to do that in my life.
Yeah.
But really, what do you believe in? And what do you care about? And when you're in a bad mood, what does it look like? And when you're scared, what does it look like? And when you're insecure, what does it look like? Those things are scary and it's really vulnerable. But until he's seen certain sides of you, good and bad, then to think that he's the one, it's not really authentic because he doesn't know you. And so you're not on equal footing there.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's exhausting to keep up that facade. We can, like you said, we can only do it for so long. And then it's like, this is just too much. This is too much effort. The other thing that I think is really key about this piece too, Bobbi, is when we show up as our authentic selves, which includes, the good, the bad, and the ugly, what we consider to be the ugly, it gives someone else the permission and the safety to be their real selves too. So it actually is a gateway to a greater possibility of intimacy with someone.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
because they can feel
I love when you say that. Permission.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Oh, I love that you said it gives them permission.
Yeah, it makes it safe for them. It's emotionally safe for them because energetically, when they're feeling that you're showing your real self and that you're opening up and allowing someone to see those things that you care about, that you value, that are important to you, your dreams, that's all a part of vulnerability. It makes it safe for them to start showing their vulnerabilities and share that side of them as well. Mm-hmm. Instead of like the facade or the mask that we might be putting on for dating because we think that's who someone wants us to see.
Mm-hmm.
Someone wants us to be or what they want to see.
Yeah. And that's all about us getting them, that's all about them liking us, right? And my basic advice to you, if nothing else, is it's not about him liking you. First, it's about you liking him. Mm-hmm. The first thing is about really getting to know a guy enough to make some kind of choice if he has potential to be that check mark number 1, potential to be a guy that can make you happy. And when you start there, it's a whole different experience, dating. Dating is a whole different experience when you're not in your head about what does he think about me? What should I do to make him happy? How can I get him to like me?
That's right.
And God, you're right, it's exhausting.
Well, that's right. And then I think another part of this is, who are you together? Like the different combination of people. It's like, do I like him? Do I like who we are together?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, because some people bring out the best in you and some people don't, or do the opposite. Yeah, that's perfect, Michelle. It all goes together, right? And I think that when you're being real, I want to give sort of a tangent, some little tip here. I'll be quick because I know our time's limited.
Oh, sure.
I use with my coaching, I always start with really being able to articulate and really embrace what you love about yourself. And for a lot of women, you have to kind of get to know that, because it's not something that just comes up. Like you can give me your resume for your business or for work, but what's great about you as a woman, that's something else. So one of the skills I teach in order to express that once you figure it out is what I call nuggets. And nuggets are just little pieces of information about yourself that's meaningful and will help a man get to know something about you that matters, right? So it's not, oh, I like to go to Hawaii for vacation. So these are things like good, like you said, good, bad, and ugly, right? So it may be something about, I'm really concerned about what's going on in the world when it comes to thus and such, because I'm worried about my children. I'm worried about, how my children are going to live. Now, that's pretty deep. That's pretty serious. And I wouldn't say, hi, my name's Bobbi, I'm really concerned about the world.
Right.
But in getting to know each other, and it could be a first date, my husband and I did this on a first date, you're sharing something real about you and you're taking a risk. That guy may not approve, he may not agree, but if it's fundamental to who you are, if you believe it, if it's important to you, and if it's kind of like a must-have that the guy may not agree, but at least understands and appreciates. And another nugget could be like, oh, I love going to Hawaii for vacation, but adding, and I love it because I love doing nothing for a week. I love just sitting in the sun and soaking it up. It feels so good. And having some tequila, of course. That's something too that shares something like, I like to sit around for a week in the sun, and maybe you don't. Let's talk about that. So it shares a bit about you, but also the cool thing is it helps you get to know him by observing his reactions. So if you tell him that first one I talked about how you look at the world and see the world and what fear you have, then he could respond a few ways. He could respond with glass, his eyes rolling out over in his head and go, yeah, okay, so what movies do you like? That could be a response. He could respond with, oh my gosh, I'm with you on that. Like, I agree. He could respond with, I don't have any worries about that. I don't know what you're talking about. So using nuggets is like a quick way to share something meaningful and learn something meaningful about him in response.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Well, and I think, and I teach women the same thing. And I think a nuance to this is that when you're sharing in this way about something that you're passionate about or something that you love or something that's important to you, you're sharing more from a heart-centered place when you share in this way. They can feel something about you. It's not just, like you said, a fact on a resume. This is a part of you. You're sharing something about you, and you're sharing maybe why it's important to you or how you feel about it. It's coming from a heart-centered place. Mm-hmm. So a man can get a sense of who you are and can feel more connected with you if you're, compatible. So yeah, it's like you said, it's like from going fact to feeling. And one way to help them do that is using the word because. It may not literally be in your sentence, but here's the fact, and the because, like you said, takes you to expressing the why. And the why is almost always from the heart. Mm-hmm. It's like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm an accountant. Versus, what do you do for a living? I'm an accountant, and I love it because I get to help people with something that's really difficult for them, and I make my clients or friends for life. Mm-hmm. Something like that. Mm-hmm. Really different. Yep, absolutely. And I agree with you. I think because is a magic word. And why? And back to them.
Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Yeah, because when you're sharing and asking them why to get to their feelings, right?
Mhm. Well, and I don't remember where I saw this study. I can't cite the source of it, but they did some kind of experiment where they had people like standing in a line, and people were coming to these people standing in the line and saying, "Can I, can I go ahead of you in line?" Well, of course, most people are going, "Get out of here. Are you kidding me? No." But if they gave a reason, even if the reason was kind of a lame reason or kind of illogical, if they said something like, "Can I jump in front of you in line because I've got my dog out in the car," or whatever, people were more inclined to acquiesce and allow them to step in front of them in
Um,
line. So that shows just the power of what we're talking about with that one little word. And like you said, even if it's not in the sentence, if you're thinking about it from that way and you're expressing it from that way, it is going to come more from the heart, more from that feeling side of you, and a man's going to get a deeper sense of who you are. You can see if there's a connection and compatibility, and it again comes back to, it also makes it safer for him to share with you.
that's awesome. Yes, that's exactly it. And it's all about feeling.
So Bobbi, let's talk about number 3.
So remember, we're talking about what you should check off your list in order to be able to safely decide, oh, he might be the one, like get in that really hopeful mode. And number 3 is you have to have shared experiences that vary. Okay. So a lot of times what happens is we have a lot of going out to dinner, we have a lot of going out to lunch, sitting across the table talking to one another. And that's great. I mean, that's sort of a normal, common way to get to know one another.
Mm-hmm.
But just to kind of frame it in real life experience, my husband and I, we planned our wedding within about 6 weeks of knowing each other and got married in 6 months. So that's kind of unusual, right? And and a lot of times when I'm, especially when I'm working with women, where I'm like, "Whoa, girl, don't do things so fast," and they look at me and go, you know, "You're one to talk." But the difference is in my personal experience, within literally 3 weeks of knowing one another, we had drama, a lot of drama with my mother. There was all kinds of political stuff going on that we talked about. I mean, we weren't just having fun together. We weren't just sitting and enjoying one another. We were living real life. And so until you've had those varying experiences, and I don't mean like having coffee versus taking a walk, while I recommend that you do that. I mean like I mentioned, like challenges that have come up in life, like in that are going to be real, and getting to see how the two of you relate together, how the two of you team up together, how he shows up. When my car broke down, it was in the front of Home Depot, literally like blocking the front door of Home Depot, pretty much.
No.
And I know, and he came, and luckily he's really handy, which is always like icing on our cake, right? And he fixed my car, and he said to me, "That was kind of dumb parking in front of the front door like that." And normally I'd be like, "How dare you?" But you know what? That was him being real. He came and he rescued me, and then he was like, "Yeah, don't really do that anymore." That's real and that's authentic. And those are the kind of things that let you know that you're getting to know the like a real person. He got to know the real me, because that's something I would do, which is sort of dumb. Same thing with my mother. My mother has had this drama, and I had to drive 2 hours to go save her. And he was in that car with me, going to see my mother, helping her with her wheelchair, the whole bit. He showed up and being pleasant about it, and really, truly showing that he was happy he could do it for me.
Yeah, I think this is really important. And this is why I think sometimes there's advice out there, which I give myself, which is that oftentimes, seeing someone over a period of like a year, you're going to have enough time to see and experience each other through a variety of experiences. Now, what you're describing is a very concentrated period of a lot of these experiences, but they don't always come that fast and furious. Thank heavens, or life would probably be pretty challenging. But over a period of time, you see how someone reacts or responds to certain situations with their family, with your family, with things that come up in the relationship. And I think this is really, really important to understand and know enough about each other to see if that's going to be something that's going to work for both of you. A simple example is like, someone getting mad at a service person or that kind of thing. You observe that, and is that a one-time little incident on a bad day, or it's this kind of a pattern? We can look for patterns over time and things that like might go, wait a minute, this is something I got to pay a little bit of attention to. At least it's a yellow flag, maybe turning to a red flag.
Yeah. Totally. I love that. I love that. I always look for little, pieces of advice that people could pick up right away. And you just brought up a really good one. The idea of like observing how they are with other people. And so that's why like on first dates or meet dates, after they meet online, I recommend that you go somewhere where you're served, because right up front, you get to observe how someone reacts to other people as opposed to sitting at Starbucks and ordering from the counter, and, little things like that. Yeah, they really count. And I think as you get older, I don't know about you, but, as we get older, there's a lot of challenges. I mean, there's challenges when you're young, but there's more sort of, what am I trying to say, Michelle? Like really some hard decisions to make. And you've got your kids, and you've got your parents, and you've got, career and business. And that's probably why so many of us want a partner, is we want someone to help us with all this crap that comes up. And so when somebody says to me, how long should I wait before, really jumping in? And I don't know, like wait until you've had these different real life experiences. And as an adult, as somebody in their 40s, 50s, 60s, beyond, sometimes like in my experience, it comes pretty quick. It's not, life is just, I wish it was that way, but it's not. Don't refrain and show up with this, everything's great, I don't need anything, that kind of what I used to do, this mask of like, I don't really need anything, don't worry, I'm low maintenance, everything's great. Show up with that, and you're never going to get through this checklist. It's all fake.
Well, and I think the other reason why it's so important to share a variety of experiences before you kind of identify that this could be the one is anybody can kind of show up at their best for a date or even over a short period of time. But as someone, as the mask comes off, or as someone lets down their guard and becomes that real version of themselves, they're not going to be able to hide who they really are, just like we don't hide who we really are over a period of time. And as you see someone and have different experiences together and see how you both react, respond, and show up in different situations in life, then you really get a picture of who someone else is and if the two of you are compatible.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, the other thing is, some women, like you may have heard when like Larry said to me, oh, that was really stupid parking in front of the door, right? That's really stupid. And I think you're awesome. That's the kind of thing that's when you see that somebody's being real. Like, driving home after helping my mother, who brought a lot of drama to life, is the best I can put it. And he was so loving and so helpful and so sincere in being happy that he could help me. And on the way home, he said, I don't really like the way your mom treats you. It's those kind of things that a man can show, those pieces of parts of him that he can show you that may, if you're feeling insecure and you're in that sort of 18-year-old, you go, oh, how dare he, but you want somebody like that. You want somebody who's honest. And in both of those cases, he was watching my back, taking care of me. And, sometimes that doesn't show up as being really pretty, but that's the grown-up stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this is really a wonderful conversation, Bobbi. And I love that you brought these three things forward, because I think they're a really valuable lens to be able to explore a relationship through. And I think these three pieces that we've touched on today that you brought forward are going to be really powerful to help a lot of women out there. So I'm really grateful that you've shared them with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And so I also know that you also have a very generous and wonderful free gift. And I wonder if you'd like to share a little bit about that with us now.
I'd love to. I'm excited about this. So sort of in the same vein, that we're talking about, my primary free gift is a video, and it's called How to Stay Smart When You're Falling for a Man. And again, it's about this idea that we can get really dumb when we get excited and we start thinking, he could be the one. So when you get caught up in that excitement, kind of what we're talking about here, you want to be able to relax, you want to be able to have fun, you want to be hopeful, but you want to make good decisions. And so this video that I'm going to give you takes it deeper and gives you more tools that you can use to help you stay present and do a really good job of getting to know him and helping him get to know you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that.
And a bonus ebook that you'll get, which is 10 ways to tell if a quality man is into you. Because of course, if you start thinking, oh, he could be my one, you're going to want to get some clues as to how he's feeling about you. And this book will give you some really specific things to look for.
I just really want to thank you. I always love connecting with you, and I love your mature look at love, because I know we have a lot of women out there, and you and I are contemporaries, so we serve the same women, and so I think that's why we're so resonant in so many of the things that we talk about. And I know there's a real need for these things, because you know what? For some of us, it just doesn't happen that everything falls into place when we're 25 or 27 or whatever, right?
Right, absolutely.
For some of us, there's a bit of a journey, let's just say that, but it's worth it, right? You and I are living, walking, talking, living proof of that. We've both now been in 13-year marriages, both brides in our 40s, first-time brides in our 40s.
Yeah.
And so we're walking, talking, living proof that not only is it possible, but also that it's worth it.
It pays off, and this is a great time to find love. It's just, there's some really big advantages to being at this time in life to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And a part of that comes back to something you were talking about earlier, which is I think we can know ourselves better. I mean, I didn't even know who I was when I was in my 20s. So I might have picked someone that would be maybe totally unsuitable.
And men are so much better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You probably did. You just didn't end up marrying him.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
How many guys did you pick that were unsuitable? Oh my God.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. And the good thing is, just men, as we mature, they mature too, ladies. So there's so many fabulous men out there just that are waiting to meet someone like you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Bobbi. It's been lovely to connect, and thanks for your wisdom. Bye for now.